Golden Lion! Happy spring equinox and a very, very merry volcanic eruption to you! Yes. Okay, well, Okay, start with the beginning. My name is Guldur. I'm an Icelander, live in Iceland. I welcome to my podcast, the Project Pile, because I have projects and they are in piles and they just keep growing because I have no self-control when it comes to wanting to make things. This is my podcast, as I said. I mostly talk about yarn, about knitting, crocheting, anything other fiber related that I'm still learning because fiber learning fun. I talk about what I'm working on, what I have finished, the very, very rare occasion that happens because rain, and what my future plans are, or what I want to make, or what I'm thinking about making. I also talk quite a bit about the weather, because the weather is important and it is always changing, so there's always something to talk about. And for the past weeks, I've also been talking about the earthquakes that have been happening on the other part of the island that I am so glad to call my home. And yes, so today is the 20th of March 2021, and 10 at 10 last night we got finally the announcement that the eruption finally happened. Just a little bit awkward because they had just been talking in the news, the evening news that day, that the scientists, the people who pay attention to these things, actually do the research so that people like me can chat on a video about it on the internet. They were actually not really, how do you put it? They weren't really optimistic about there being an eruption because it was really, really quiet. No, like no moments, no nothing. So it's a little bit awkward that about maybe 2 hours after that, the eruption apparently began. And I say apparently because this started really, really quietly. Just like the eruption, you may know about the eruption in 2010. That happened in a place called Fimmvörðuháls. Or, how do I translate that? The area of 5 waystones? That sounds so weird in English. But yeah. So, Fimmvörðuháls is... I have it on my computer screen so I can actually see it. It is... the eruption in 2010, it was Fimmvörðuháls and Eyjafjallajökull. And actually, this is kind of funny because I was looking up before I started recording. Fimmvörðuháls, the eruption started on 20th of March and lasted until 12th of April 2010. 2021, there is an eruption in what's it called again? I can't remember the name of the valley where the eruption is right now, but it is in the sides of Fagradalsfjall, and beginning on the 19th of March 2021. So, March is kind of like the eruption month, I think. It's like, But this is like, listen, I was planning, throughout the week, I write down and note down little things that I want to talk to you about in these videos. And one of the things I wrote down was on Tuesday. It was such a weird day. Listen, such a weird day because people were extremely just distracted. It was a little bit hard to focus. Everyone was dropping all the light things like the credit cards and little bags and just flying out of people's hands and constantly throughout the day trying to remember things. It was really weird. Like you would be turning around and be like, wait, what was I doing? And not just, you know, people with attention deficiency, it was everyone. And people just like this there was this weird restlessness, like not a physical itch, but like somewhere around here, like around, it was like. And I was chatting with an older lady, and we both agreed this just felt so much like the weird feeling that you get just, you know, a few days before a volcanic eruption. And we were on Tuesday, we were like, well, maybe that means there's gonna be an eruption. And hopefully, because usually when there's an eruption, that means that the pressure is released from the earth, and that means that the earth stops shaky, which we were really hoping that would happen, because our you know, our fellow Icelanders and have been shaking a lot for the past, like, what 3 weeks, month? And then the eruption happened last night. And just like with the eruption in Fimmvörðuháls in 2010, it was such a, like, it didn't appear on their records, like, because they keep watch obviously over like the earthquake measurement thingamajigs, and there wasn't anything about it was like boom eruption. It has this like a kind of very calm, and their first basically indication that there's an eruption is that people are phoning up saying, hey, so we're seeing this glow over there, I think it started. So it's people reporting in with, you know, photos and just letting them know that they're seeing the lights, the glow of the from the magma, the lava. What do you call it? I think it's called lava when it's up, you know, reached up. So people are seeing the glow, and also web cameras. So the webcams, I mean, there's a lot of webcams in Iceland, particularly watching like volcanoes and roads and all of that. And they are extremely useful for like this type of thing, because A, it's keeping watch over an area that is, you know, red alert, and it's also, I don't know where I was gonna go with that. I'm a little bit distracted. So yeah, and I really, they had an extra extra like, what do you call it? Extra news time. It started around 11 last night, and they were going until way after midnight. I think I went to sleep somewhere after 1. And you know, talking with the experts and all that, and you know, just bring on news and telling oh, excited. So, and also because the biggest risk with you know, not risk, well, it's a risk, but the biggest threat with volcanic eruption isn't necessarily the magma or the ash, because this eruption is apparently in the best possible position. It poses no threat to infrastructure. There are no buildings, no habitation anywhere near it. The only infrastructure that is kinda in danger is a road. That is, you know, a couple of kilometers below the area. But the thing is, that road has been closed for the past days because it has been damaged by the earthquakes. So it has cracks and just is broken. So it was closed anyway. And the I cannot remember what his title is, but one of the experts on the you know, the eruption thingies, volcano, I can't remember the term, but the way he described how the eruption basically started was it's like a sharp knife through a container of sugar. Because basically what the earthquakes have apparently done for the past weeks is shaking everything and breaking the earth, so that by the time that the magma decides to pop up and go say hello, the earth is so broken and so cracked that there is no like, you know, basically there's nothing to hold it back, to push back. There's no, it can't, it's broken. So when magma comes up, it just flows up, which is why they didn't, the measuring instruments didn't detect like a huge spike in the in activity. And it was so much fun watching the news last night, because they were like, if you have any pictures, please do send us so that we can have all the information that we possibly can. Like, send it, like pictures and videos, everything that you have, so that, you know, so we can build up this information data bank. And some of the pictures that people sent was so like, it was so, like, one of the pictures was from, I think it's from a farm. So, you know, unlike my area that is still in like, you know, the browns of early spring, and this area had like nice green grass, and the buildings, you know, just pretty, and it's a nice like dark March evening, and then you just see the red glow in the distance, and the lights and the colors were so pretty. And then they showed the first picture from the eruption when they went in the helicopter with the scientists to, you know, check things out and see, you know, what is, you know, the first estimation of like danger, and what the risk factors, and what are we dealing with. And the first picture was so pretty. And they actually have it on the Facebook page of the Icelandic Met Office. I'm definitely gonna link that down below. I think I'm gonna try and get it in the video because it's so pretty. And you know, because in the dark of the, just everything is just black, and then you just see the lava in its orange golden glow. It's so pretty. And I'm also gonna link their video. The first video that they took of it is about 36 seconds, I think. It is noisy because they did, you know, they were recording in a helicopter, so it's noisy, very, very noisy, but so pretty. So the first estimation with the you know, I was thinking about how I was gonna word this before filming, because going from Icelandic to English and you don't really necessarily know the words or remember them at the time, I kept wanting to say the word crack, because basically the ground is cracked. But if I remember correctly, the actual term is fissure, because it's like the fissure. So, okay. What's here? Excuse me, distractions. So I actually was thinking about how to like put it into yarn context, like the size of the fissure. So the original estimation was about 200 meters long, and now this sounds kind of smart. Each skein is about 100 meters, so the size of the fissure is about these two skeins. Or here I have my Lion Brand Landscapes. Now this skein is 134 meters. So the fissure original estimation was this skein plus maybe about this. So it's about just under 1.5 skein of Lion Brand's Landscapes. Or about 2/3 of the, you know, the ice yarns Baby Wool design. If you happen to have one of these skeins or similar, it's about 2/3 of this skein. That is the size of the original estimation of the fissure. But a little bit later, they obviously these are first estimations. The first estimations are rough, and this is what they were able to about estimate. they are estimating that the longest that the fissure got last night was about 700 to 800 meters. Now I do have more cakes, because cakes are actually really, really good to estimate this length. But they are somewhere I don't quite know where they are. But I do have my cakes cotton fine from ERUPTIONS. This gorgeous fitting red color. This cake is 600 meters. So it's about 1 1/3 of, you know, your roughly average cake. But you know, right now they are estimating, I think I heard about 500 meters. It's calmed down a lot. Now the thing about this eruption is that it is a lava eruption, or a fissure eruption. I don't quite know the technical terms, but basically it's lava. They haven't detected any like ash. There isn't any ash cloud. I think those are mostly like when you have an eruption under, like here in Iceland, when you have an eruption, mostly they happen under like glaciers. So you get like explosive eruptions. You really know about them because they, you know, when the lava meets the glacier, which, you know, melts down to ice, and the ice melts down to water, and the water meets the lava, they are not best friends. So those create quite a lot of bang, explosive power, and those, in my memory, those tend to be really, really, really ashy. Like back in 2010 when Eyjafjallajökull erupted, we got such a huge ash cloud, like, and because of the directional wind, which I think is actually the same now. Yeah, because it actually blew over to my area and I had to wear a mask because the ash was just all over my area. That was not fun. But different now because this isn't an ashy type of eruption. It's a lava type. So it's really pretty, like, but also like it's still an eruption, and every time there's an eruption, there are gases that are released along with the lava. So the biggest threat with any type of eruption is, well, number one, the heat and the lava, but the biggest risk, because, you know, because of its nature, is the gases and the associated elements, because those are much lighter and get blown around with the wind. So straight away, like last night, people in a neighboring town, I think it was Thorlákshöfn, were asked to make sure to keep all windows closed because of the wind direction and because gases and pollutants from the eruption. So unfortunately, the wind direction is not very the wind directions is probably the worst thing right now, because apparently it's blowing towards Reykjavik. But it's a very small eruption. So everything about this eruption is just, like the scientists are explaining it, have talked about it, it is the picture perfect version. It's just the best possible version, like what anyone could have hoped for. Because it is, like I said, it is nowhere near infrastructure. There are no habitats around it. The only thing at risk is that road that has been, you know, closed because it got broken by the earthquakes. That's the only thing, and it is far away. And I just remembered that they were also reporting last night. There's a lot of traffic. I am very sad to say, but there was a lot of traffic and people were actually starting to hike towards the eruption to see it better. Yeah. So yeah, I just remember that. But yeah, so happy spring, Queen Eggs, and a very merry eruption to you. I'm so happy. Like, I generally don't know how to explain it, but when the Earth is like building towards an eruption, there's a difference in the, apparently in the excuse me, because it has been measured, it has been scientifically measured, because you know, usually when people talk about it, other people are like, that's silly. No, it is not, because we are not immune to how our planet works. We are not immune to atmospheric pressure, and the pressure changes when the Earth is having its movements. And this type of movements is always dramatic. Even with a small eruption, there are dramatic movements related to it. And it will always change the pressure. And even people like me who are hundreds of kilometers away, like I am on the opposite side of this island, the feeling of this weird, like, tingly, distracting, pressure type of just thing, it is so weird. But you know, you feel it once and you're like, okay, that probably means an eruption is imminent. But yeah, so weird. It's so weird. But I'm still so happy that because, like I said, I'm really, really, really hoping that this means that the Earth is going to stop shaking. But again, this area, listen, I need to talk about this a little bit more. I'm sorry, I know this is your podcast, but I love this so much. Because the last time the Reykjanes erupted, because this is an area that is very, very active. I can't remember if the plume that feeds the plume that is basically the birthplace of my island, is, you know, what's it called? There was a program made quite a few years ago by BBC. I think it's called Power of the Planet or something like that. I do remember that the narrator is lovely. Shush. It's this lovely Scottish man, and hearing him pronounced like Thinkwedley. I'm sorry, it's cute and I love it and it's adorable and it's hilarious, but they also show like this image of the plume, the lava plume that, or magma plume that feeds the activity here in Iceland, and basically it's the birthplace of the island that I call home, and it's so cool. But if I can't remember if one of the major exit probably one of the major exit points is under the area that is erupting right now, at the very least very, very close. And the last time there was eruption event in the Reykjanes, they have been long, like not eruption itself, like there are many, many separate eruptions, and they are usually called eldar or fires, because you don't get like this explosive dramatic volcanoes, you get a long drawn out events. And these events have been like 150 years, 200 years, 590 years, a very, very long time. And so obviously we cannot know with this eruption whether it's going to be just this one separate little evening of beautiful, interesting, the magic of this planet in its purest form, or whether it's going to be days, weeks, months, decades, centuries. We can't know. It's like a lottery. It is a literal lottery, and we do not know until it's over. And there's no way of knowing when it's gonna be over. It's so cool. I love my planet. I love this Earth. I love this. I love this. I am so happy to be born in Iceland. Like this island it just keeps doing its own thing, and I'm just like, what are you gonna do now? what you gonna do now? Oh, I love it, love it. Oh, speaking of, listen, this past week has been so interesting because like it's been a bit cold in their area. Like it's a little bit warmer than usual. Like it's March, but they've had like rain and sleet. You know what we got? Thursday, Friday, we got a heat wave. Thursday, my town actually like broke records since 2010, I think. Like last time, yeah, it's about that time, I think. No, it's for 2012. We actually got 20 degrees centigrades a day. Like it was, and it was just a like I am not fond of heat. Like I do not like being in like warm weather or warm climates. Just no, I cannot handle it. But that day, that warmth, at least where I was, it was so nice and mild. It was pleasant. Like just a perfect balance, just that absolutely perfect temperature and moisture, and like there wasn't any wind or anything. It, you know, at least like so slow, you just didn't notice it. But like also the sun wasn't scorching it. It was just like nice and mild. So a very pleasant day. And then the day after on Friday it was a little bit cooler, but still like it was the 19th of March. Still quite pleasant. And then in the evening we got an eruption. It's like perfect week. But yeah. Oh, excuse me. I love it. I love my island. It's so cool. It just keeps doing things like this. I love it. But yeah, I was going to talk to you a little bit about yarn too. So, actually, I'm gonna scoot you a little bit. Let's start with the lumpkin blanket. It hasn't changed a lot since last week. Still not sure though. Love these colors. So, I have finished the 17th skein and have now started on the 18th skein. So a little bit of progress, but again, it's so dusty. It's so like the fibers are so all over the place that I wear the clothes to work on the work on it, and then I have to strip off everything and put it in the washer because everything is just covered in fibers, and I love it. I love the lumpkin, I love it. But it's also really funny because I've been working on this blanket for way too long. Cannot remember when I started the blanket off the top of my head, but it's been quite a while in the making. And so I've had this yarn from Ice Yarns, like most of them have been like, most other packages have been opened up, so they've actually been airing out, and I forgot that they had been airing out because I didn't, obviously I didn't notice any smell. But the a few weeks ago I bought 2 more packages because I wanted the blanket to be a little bit like wider because I'm working lengthwise, and so I wanted it to be wider. So it's about 90 centimeters, which is it's okay, but it's a blanket. I want it to be a little bit wider. So I had the initial 16 skeins, which is 4 packages, and I decided to buy 2 more, so it had 24 skeins, therefore a little bit more. And I noticed when I was, when I finished the 17th skein and started the 18th, I started to notice this weird, strong chemical smell. And then I remembered that the initial smell of lumpkin was a bit strong, chemical-wise. But that is fine, because you air it out, it's gonna be fine. And of course a smarter person than me would wash the yarn, but I'm not smart and I refuse to be smart. I haven't done it so far, I'm not gonna do it. Because I'm gonna keep it consistent until I'm done. Needless to say also that I've already started plans for another lumpkin blanket, because the colors of the lumpkin, lumpkin color, the colors are so pretty. Like, I love this pink colorway. I absolutely adore how it's turning out. I love these colors, and I've seen another that is like these yellows and greenish blues somewhat, and a little bit of white, but the colors are so pretty. And I want another blanket. And that time, excuse me, the next time because I do plan to make another blanket with the lumpkin. The next blanket is I'm gonna work on it like from the width to the length, not length to width, width to length. Because I think that might be a little bit easier. Probably not, but wishful thinking. But yeah. Also just lumpkin, I like it. It's this, it's acrylic and polyester blend, and yeah, it's bulky, it's fuzzy, it's pretty, and I can't wait to get the blanket finished. Like, I was actually thinking on like Thursday and Friday, like this would have been the perfect day to dry the blanket, because it was, it was warm but not boiling. It's not like yesterday in particular, it was a little bit more windy and not nearly as much sun, so it would have been perfect. But I'm about 75% done with the blanket, so the aim is to have it finished before summer, and hopefully to have a nice warm summer day to wash and dry it. So but yeah, so you may have noticed that I was bringing out my landscape. You may notice just how beautiful the colors are. Like, these are gorgeous. And well, that's because I really need to, like, this is a need. I need to make myself a cowl out of these two. Or a shawl, something nice, pretty, because this is nice and warm, and we did have a heat wave Thursday and Friday, but next week is going to be in the minus. It's going to be freezing, it's going to be cold, and I do have quite a bit of like warm clothes, but every time it starts to get cold, I want to make something warm. Whether or not I'm able to use it, that's another thing. I want to make something warm, but also because there's an eruption, and landscape is, it's nice and warm. It is, soft. And what are you made out of? You are made out of 100% acrylic. But the most important thing in relation to this is the name. It's called Volcano. I have to make something out of this now. There's a volcanic eruption. If this is not the time to make something out of a yarn called Volcano, I don't know when. So this needs to be my weekend project. This needs to be. I was planning to, work on something cute in Easter, like this, like the little bunny. Okay, so the brochure does come with the bunny, so the pattern is here. I don't need the magazine that it came with, but I do have it over there. So I was planning to work on little bunny, Bella Bunnykins, because I was working on the, is the picture here? Yes, here it is. I was working on this, And let me tell you about this pan. So this pan is from the Simply Crochet magazine, number 82. It is from spring of 2019, so it's taken me only about 2 years to, less than 2 years, about 2 years to work on. But yeah. So I showed you last time. It is this little bundle with you know, it has had a wooden ring. It has the ribbons to work on, and it has the yarn. It's lovely color. The yarn. So you use a 2.5mm crochet hook. It says here USC or 2. And you know, I love the pattern. The pattern is nice and it's really, really simple. It's just so simple. I hate this yarn. I do not like this yarn. But which is, I still feel it's a little bit unfair because it's so nice and soft. And I would love to knit from it, or you know, use a different size crochet hook, because you use 2.5mm crochet hook to make the wreath and the flowers. I mean, it does turn out so cute, but here's the thing: when you are using a 2.5mm crochet hook with this yarn, you get a lot of, you know, this annoying separation in the yarn. Like, this is not a good example because I apparently managed to hide most of it, but this yarn would work so much better with like 4 or 5mm crochet hook. But because you're using as a small hook in order to make the pattern, your hook is constantly going in between the threads, splitting it. And so unfortunately I just came to a conclusion that I hate this poor yarn, but it's not the yarn's fault. I was planning to, you know, finish it before I showed you, just so I could show off something that I finished, but then I'm like, don't like, but it's so simple. I love this pattern though. And like, these flowers, this is a simple single round. You do need to make a friend's knot in the center from the opposite color, which I haven't done yet because I need to find a needle, and also I don't like this yarn. But I still want to finish it. But you know, I'm done with the crochet. I just need to get myself, you know, into the thinking spot of actually finishing it. But like I remember that one side is like, how cute are these colors together though? Like, that is so cute. Like, these colors are adorable. And this yarn, you know, I was working on this on Wednesday. Today is Saturday, so I've had a little time to calm down. I'm not joking. I literally hissed at the yarn. And, you know, it's just something that just you know, it happens when you get annoyed. But it was a little bit like, I was very happy. Well, first off, when I'm working on anything, I'm in my room, so I'm away from people. That way, if I get annoyed, it doesn't affect other people. Excuse me, slight distractions. Yeah, as I was saying, usually when I'm working, I just stay in my room, so that when because I know I'm gonna get annoyed at some point, because that just happens when you like, you lose drop a stitch, or you keep poking through the yarn because the crochet hook is a much smaller size than the yarn actually calls for. So if you're like me, you may hiss at the yarn, the poor defenseless yarn. And then maybe you look down and you realize you're wearing a hoodie that says I'm a cat. Well, obviously I wasn't lying when I bought that one. So, yes, I hiss when I'm annoyed. But yeah, so with this cute little wreath, like first off, it's gonna be so absolutely cute when I'm finally get it finished. I need to figure out how to make the French knots. Like the French knots are not gonna be difficult. Like no one is gonna be looking hard on these cute little flowers and be like, that's not a very good French knot. No one is gonna look at it. Still, like I'm not used to making French knots, so that's a little bit like. Also, you need to make a bow with this ribbon. I'm not good at making bows, so we'll see how that goes. But you know, I'm mostly done with this simple little project. I'm actually I'm a little proud of myself so far. Now, what else was I gonna chat about? Oh yes. Listen, so I've also been spending way too much time on, looking at clothes online because springtime. That's what happens when it comes to spring. I start looking at clothes that I don't need. But it did give me inspiration. Like, there are some items I was looking at and I'm like, I could actually make that. It would probably look cuter if I make it because I have this yarn. And it would look so cute in this one. I'll probably have a pattern for it, or at least I can find it somewhere. And like, when you have that thinking, you may be looking at really cute, like a knitted vest, but you have that thinking in the back of your head, and you're like, I like it. I'm really liking the design of it and the simplicity. I'm really fond of simplicity, but I have this yarn that really looks so cute in that pattern. Maybe I might be able to find the pattern for it. So, I mean, when you're at that stage, you can't really buy the item you're looking at because you keep thinking, well, I could make it. So, I was looking at clothes online, and maybe you do the same thing. You look in clothes, you start thinking, well, actually, I could make that, and I have the yarn, and I have the pattern. And then you go look through your pattern library and you find the pattern and you find the yarn and you're like, well, I'm not gonna buy the item because I can make something that would mean a lot more than buying it. And so that's what happened repeatedly this week. I'm like, nice. And it's nice because remember this lovely yarn I got from last time from Ice Yarns, this winter sale yarn with the labels have gotten weird with them, but anyway, it's a wool and acrylic and I think nylon combination and a light salmon, and it is this lovely fuzzy super fine light salmon blended yarn. And I have a plan for the bubblegum pink one. I didn't have a plan for this one or the light green or light blue or nylons. I still need to figure out what I want to do with. Like, no rush, gonna figure out. But this, I was actually on Shein, and because Shein is really nice for when you just want to browse through and just look at things. And usually I'm not fond of like vests. Not the biggest fan of them. But, excuse me, they had such a selection of cute knitted vests. And I'm like looking at them like, oh, that's good, could probably make that. And I have a yarn for it. and I have the pattern for it. And I finally have a plan. I mean, loose, very loose plans for this yarn, but still, I have an idea. Just a basic knitted, not very long. Maybe like here. Cute little vest. And I think it would look really cute. I do have a pattern, I think on Ravelry. I found one. Actually, I found way over 10, but I found one that I really like. It has like kinda cable, but not quite. It's like false cable type of thing, and it looks so cute. And obviously, I don't know about the drape of this fabric, but it's light, so I'm thinking it should drape well. I mean, the inside is so much softer than the outside, so I'm thinking like if I double it up or triple it or something, I should be able to, you know, make a cute little vest. And you know, in this lovely light, pale light salmon or light pink, and it would look so it would look so cute over a white shirt or one of my dresses or something. That would be so cute. So yeah, I think I have a plan for that. Now I did pull out my Stylecraft head oil heels. That's a sock yarn, isn't it? Ah, who cares? It's a superwash wool and nylon, because this is such a spring yarn and I need to get going on it. Also, I just really want to start working on like shifting through my stash again and rotate it. But I'm pushing it off so I can have like the Easter weekend to do that, because then I have 5 days to just enjoy going over my yarn. And I'm sticking to the plan. It's really hard. I want to get started on it. Like, I'm already cheating a little bit, but I am going to wait until the Easter weekend to do that. It's so tempting though. It's so tempting. So yeah. I also I know I keep saying this, but there are so many things that I want to just get done now so I can start on other things. Like there's a cardigan type. There is this like cardigan that I've been somewhat starting for like 2 years. I need to get cracking on that. There are all the shawls that I want to make. I want to get started on making myself a summer dress. But obviously I can't do all things at the same time. I must be patient with myself. It's hard sometimes. I only have one pair of hands and limited time to work, but yeah, I'm just really happy today. It's like so happy. Like, first off, eruption. People are safe as long as they stay away from the eruption area. Like, do not take... The fact that they have to tell people to not go and take a hike towards an eruption, you know, literal magma and fire coming out of the earth. The fact that they need to tell people to do not approach. Still so daft. They should not have to tell people do not approach earth fire. But no, something in some people just goes, ew, fire. Like, I get it. Eruptions are interesting, they are fascinating, they are beautiful, but they are also really dangerous. Not just the fire and the heat and the area. It's the gases that are probably gonna kill you first. Just the fact that this has to be said again and again and again. Like, I can't understand with people who aren't familiar with volcanoes or how this whole thing works. But people who are born and raised in Iceland, who have lived through these eruptions again and again and again, and have this all the information hand delivered again and again and again, and they still decide to go take a hike towards the explode, you know, fire come out of the earth. Just enough said. But yeah, they're going to have another news like conference at about 2 now in the afternoon. I'm waiting for that. It is currently 10 minutes past 11 in the morning. I have been rambling about a little under an hour, so but yeah, this has been me this week. We have had heat wave, we've had like this weird pressure thing that comes before, you know, eruption events that I chew. Like, I can't quite, like, I've tried to explain it, but it's such a weird feeling that honestly I think you need to experience it before you can actually like properly understand it, because it's just really, really weird. It's a pressure, mental itchiness, and just weird. Yeah, so all that is the spring equinox. We've had a heat wave, we're gonna have freezing weather next week, and I'm still working on my things. And I'm still planning to make more things, because that is life. We finish one thing, we do not finish the whole pile, we start on a new pile. Okay, so thank you for watching me this week. I will see you next weekend, and probably ramble on some more about volcanoes, because but we'll see. We'll see what next week brings. Like, who would have thought that this week would have brought like heat wave, eruption, all that. Love life. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next weekend. Bless. Hi, so quick update. We just had the an extra news hour about the eruption. We are down from emergency alert down to danger, so from red to orange. The fissure is down to 200 meters big. It's a very small eruption in the most perfect location, and you know, it's small. It's it's a rather weak one, but honestly I think it's one of the most beautiful eruptions I have seen in a long time. Like, this thing is so beautiful. So it feels a little weird talking about, like, you know, an eruption like that, but it is so beautiful. I just so pretty. But yeah, I wanted to tell you about that. So yeah, this is the first eruption in the Reykjaneskai in 800 years. The last one, you know, I have better information right now. So the last one lasted for about 250 years, I think. It started in around the year 900 and lasted until about 1250-ish. So, you know, about 250 years. With several eruption events. You know, several eruptions, various sizes, and but yeah, so it's a very, very small, weak eruption. It's dwindling right now, but in this area, as I said before, we don't know how long it's gonna be. It might be just this little poof, this little cute little thingy. It might be centuries. We'll see. So exciting. But yeah, see you. Bye bye.